everybody has a platform, like no matter how big it is. I'm here for you.
What advice would you offer to artists looking to merge art and activism effectively?
But I mean, artists are known to be the ones that have said things first.
Artful Impact.
So Inanna is an award-winning artivist, singer, songwriter, producer, environmentalist, and animal rights advocate based in Los Angeles. With hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, Inanna's music speaks for the earth and all its landscapes and life forms, blending ancient rhythms, contemporary sounds, and electronic atmospheres with a profound message of reverence for nature. Inanna's creative journey has led her to produce successful events in the environmental media space through her nonprofit Better Earth Media. She is now the head of development at her new venture, Better Earth Productions, where she continues to champion innovative projects that merge art and environmental activism. Her work resonates as contemporary cathartic spell, a voice for the future of nature that bridges human, animal, and technological worlds in a unique gender-bending sound.
Wow. Thank you.
Hi.
Great intro.
Yes, it's you. Thank you so much for everything that you do in this world, really. And thank you for connecting music and songwriting to nature and speaking for the ecosystems that is much needed today.
Thank you.
And I have a few questions for you.
Of course. I'm here for you.
So, inspiring change. So your music acts as a voice for the earth. How do you design your music to inspire listeners to take action for the planet?
It happens in many different ways. How do I design it? I mean, normally I get inspired by something that I hear. For example, if I hear a piece of news or I see something, of course, environmentally related, that gives me a sort of emotion. Usually it makes me angry. That's normally the first impulse. But even if that's the first impulse, it just makes me want to say something and pour something into art. And so usually the songs are born like that. Something that I see, I hear, I want to talk about a certain topic, and then one song becomes that. So all the songs touch on different topics because of that. But it depends. Sometimes I start with a composition and that atmosphere gives me the impulse to talk about something that could be an animal, could be extinction, could be oceans, or something different. So it really depends. But I think what they have in common is that they all explore the light and darkness of it all. Like as humans, we're both the victims and perpetrators in this moment, and so I feel the music always reflects that and wants to be that. It doesn't want to be only protest music, just angry, but it wants to like invite people into a reflection and into simply thinking like who are we as humans towards the planet and towards other beings, like what's our role.
Right, so you make people question like what is their purpose and what they're here to do. And also I have a question for you as like impact artist to impact artist. I can't believe that was just my phone. Oops. So, well, you know, it's interesting because you say you get inspired from news, and you know everything in this world is so instantaneous, right? So when you get inspired and you want to talk about it, and when it comes in the form of music, right, it comes to, okay, while you write it, and then the production, and then like how you film it, and then how you put it out there. So it kind of like from the time that the news happened, right, to the point of like when you actually put it out there.
Yeah.
Like, do you find it challenging at times, right? Like going through this process and how to make it relevant and also to find topics?
I don't find it challenging in the sense that I always felt the process to be very natural. It's a process of sublimation. So whatever it is you're feeling in that moment, it gets, you know, it goes through many layers of the subconscious, and then it goes from my subconscious to other people's subconscious. So it's a lot of, but that's exactly where we communicate body to body. And that's what I would like my music to do. So it's not very explicit, but in a subtle way, it's trying to communicate something that moves me to see if it moves you the same way. And for example, like one of my songs is called Are We Vampires? And it's not about vampires, but it was in a moment in which I was very angry at humans, very angry. I just read something probably very horrible in that moment. And I was like just writing down on a paper, like, we're vampires, we're conspirators, and we're exploiters, and we suck, and blah, blah. And but at some point, okay, Are We Vampires? This is a song. I'm very angry. But at some point while I was writing, I got to a point in which I was so full of anger and negativity. And I was like, okay, yes, but we are also creators and generous, and we come together to help others. And so the song became like this complete duality, this duality that I was talking about, of light and darkness. So the first part of the song is all about humans as perpetrators, and the second part is humans, the creators and wonderful beings that we can be. So
It sounds to me like you are actually touching upon a topic of transformation, right? Because we
Yeah.
are going from destructors to creators and inspiring people to go through this transformation.
yeah,
Right? It's like, who do you want to be? Do you want to be destroying, or do you want to be nurturing and creating?
yeah,
And it's beautiful and powerful. And I feel us all as humans. Okay, I'm gonna speak for myself, but I always aspire to transform, to change for better, and how I can be a better human, show up better for the environment, for people around me, and I feel like that's what you're inspiring to do in your songs. And we're always fascinated, like all this like the best watched like TV shows and stuff. It's like, when the person loses weight, or like, like the all these different like the house revamp, right? It's like, and here we're working on the changing our behavioral patterns and how our soul is in this world.
yeah. No, there's definitely need for an uplifting transformation and a big moral shift about how we relate to lands and other beings on this planet. And that's what I'm trying to inspire. And I think sometimes it's better in a loving and subtle way, as I was saying, inviting people in rather than pointing fingers and saying, you're doing it so wrong.
Right. Oh yeah, it's so much better, right? It's like it's like parenting technique, right? Like either we can yell at the children, and or we can show a new way of being.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And also, like, you're using ancient rhythms, right, in your music. So fusing art and activism, how do you blend ancient rhythms with contemporary sounds to create a unique and impactful voice for environmental advocacy?
Yeah, it was kind of curious at that kind of different choice, because I had been a musician forever, but at some point I moved here to LA and I decided to do something different, and integrating contemporary alternative music with some older traditional Middle Eastern sounds that actually don't have anything to do with me or my heritage. Or maybe in another life, I don't know, probably, since I was very attracted to it. But I was always very passionate about it. And so I decided to make this experiment and see how alternative music would combine with some Middle Eastern rhythms. And it worked. And it was kind of different. And also it served the purpose of creating a project that would be kind of how do you say, like atemporal and aspatial, like that didn't have a specific time and space.
Oh, I love that.
Because even if you don't know maybe that the rhythm is Middle Eastern or that instrument is Middle Eastern, you would know only if you know those kind of traditions and music. But it gives like this world feeling, or you can't really place it in space and time. And that's what I wanted to have, so that it could appeal to different people and simply, just be a wider thing that is not
more
just
global.
Exactly.
Right. I love that. I love that so much, so much, because like it feels like it's like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like in high school, for example, like, okay, what kind of kid were you? Like, are you listening to the black metal, or are you into rap, hip hop? You know, like there's like, well, always will be like this kind of separation, right? And then like you never know which kid is cooler. The black metal was kind of intense on my ears, but no offense to whoever loves it, but I did try that phase. So it's beautiful to hear that, because I feel like now in the world of global travel, in the world of internet, right? Like, how can we bring cultures and people together? And it feels like music can be one of those ways to do that, so we can bridge the gaps, and then once again reminding people that we are stewards of this planet first, and that separation is just an illusion.
Exactly. And at least my idea was to bridge all that gap of duality. So it was masculine and feminine, light and dark, east and west. And it was very curious, because when I decided that the artistic name would be Inanna, I discovered first that goddess was the goddess of duality. And so it was so perfect, because I was torn between the anger and the desperation and the hope and the like real strong will to do, and the light that we need and that I want to try to invite people to go to, and the darkness of the urgent, horrible sometimes times that we live in. So I felt it was a perfect figure, and that's why I chose that goddess as a name, to be like a bigger figure, like, because I felt like Annalisa, which is my real name, was like too small to contain all that. So I needed a bigger name, a bigger space where to act that theatrical, you know, because it's like representing the big drama of
Embodying
the times that we live in.
archetype.
So I needed a bigger stage,
right?
You know, like
Yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and also like, yeah, like being able to hold the duality. It's like, oh, I don't know if you guys experience this, but it's like at times it's like you're so happy and things are going so well, and then something so tragic is happening in your life, and like holding the two at the same time. Oh, for me it was a period after COVID. That's when the life was teaching me how to hold the two. Oh my goodness. And you're like, can we actually hold this whole scale of emotions? And as an artist, I feel like we have to.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll give you an Inanna book.
Okay. Oh my God.
She was the goddess of love and fertility, but then she was chopping heads and like complete chaos. So and she was really owning both things.
Right.
But obviously all gods and goddesses and myths, I mean, you can think they're real or not, but they definitely represent subconscious parts, characteristics of who we are, and I simply thought this was a perfect figure for these times.
And I absolutely agree with you. And also, like, touching upon, like, there's so many artists in the audience and creatives, like, as we go through these waves of emotions, right, in order for us to hold the two, right, we have to basically dive and then fly high and then dive deep again and then go through these waves of emotions. And, at times, like, it can be overwhelming, right? Because it's like, oh my God, am I losing my mind? Or like, what's going on, right? And like, and so I've been working on some tools in my life, and I wonder what's for you? Like, how do you navigate to being able to hold so much?
Well,
in such a big range.
I have to say that the music itself holds both things. Like I do it for activism and for others, and to feel that I'm doing my work, but it's also therapeutic for me because I let it out. And then with my music goes a lot of dancing and body movement. So personally, I find body work very, very important for anything and any type of ups and downs. But yeah, art is always there for us to elaborate things that we can't say. It's always the unsaid in the art that is the important thing. If it's, you know, a poem or music or a painting, a beautiful painting like this, it's not what it says, but it's the unsaid behind it that speaks to us.
Right. Right. Beautiful. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for art. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
If
what will
not
we do?
art. And like sometimes, you know, I observe like some of my, you know, cousins who are so creative and they're like, you know, growing up and like they're tormented because the society doesn't allow to express, and how, like, you know, we did earlier, we were shaking the energy off, like how the deer shakes off like after being chased, right? It's like being able to transfer that energy, to move it. It's so important. And I'm so grateful that it's becoming like there's more and more creatives, there are more and more artists, and we get to share what we do to actually process those emotions. All right, so our next question, blending purpose and success. So how do you balance creating music with a profound environmental message while reaching and growing an audience that supports your mission?
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest challenge, and that's where you find your platform and your people. And I'm a deep believer that everybody has a platform, like no matter how big it is. So in my case, you know, it can be very different because, for example, like among my listeners or the audience was something that I would have never expected, like people listening from Argentina or Turkey. So you can never really predict where it comes from. But I feel as long as you're very authentic
Authenticity,
and
yes.
you put it out there with your heart, and it's something true to you, for sure you will find that someone that resonates. And, you know, I think as long as you decide, okay, this is what I care about, and this is where I can use my skills in a way that can involve other people authentically, we can all have a platform. It doesn't really matter if you have 1 million followers or 100 followers, but if you are in touch with those people and they write to you and that message gets to them, you're doing so much. I mean, sometimes when I receive direct messages from people, also because if you have like 10 million followers, sometimes it's hard to keep track and be in touch with all of them. But if you have less, they really come to you and they thank you so much, like this song made me reflect on this, or this event made me feel this, and it's so beautiful because you realize that you are having an impact, like for real, in their lives, even if it's small. But then they will tell somebody else, and then that somebody else will do the same. So
Right. It's true, because like even if we change one person's life or way of being, the snowball effect, we actually also, like, we never know, right? And I feel like with artists, like, it's like, how do you measure it? Well, you know, at times, like, you just don't know. And then, like, sometimes, like, it comes back to you, like, a year or two later. It's like, oh, you did this and that inspired me, and now I built this whole thing, or I secured so much land in the rainforest, or whatever it is. And you're like, oh my God, wow. Right? So it's like, and also, like, you touched upon something very interesting, which is authenticity. And talking to you, I know that you're embodied and you are confident in who you are. And, you know, I know at times, you know, some people struggle to be their authentic selves because we want to be accepted by the society, right? We want to be welcomed. We don't want to be an outcast because we associate it as, like, you know, like in the genes, like back in the days, if you're living in a tribe and then you're being expelled from your tribe, you might not survive, right? So there's this like underlying fear of, like, oh my God, if I'm not fitting in. And I struggled with it myself, and and it took a lot of work to get out of it. And so I wonder, like, what advice would you give to people who are becoming artists, and also the ones who are stepping into their authentic self?
I think it's just about being bold. You really have to be bold and be true to what you care about. I mean, there are definitely things that we care about more than others, and it would be impossible for us to solve all the problems of the world, all the human problems, all the human rights problems, animal rights problems, the environment. So you do have to pick your cause because there's so much, and for sure there's something out there that is really for you, and the more you care, the more authentic the work will be. And it doesn't have to be art. If you're artistic and you want to do it through art, great. But if it's because you're a tech person and you can invent something, that's amazing. Like, I feel we can all find that role in this big puzzle of the planet. And but the great thing is that we really need to put the puzzle back together, because now it's very scattered, and humans unfortunately have contributed a lot to this division.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually it's interesting you mentioned puzzle, because actually, like, it's a very interesting, like, concept, like, analogy. Because imagine, like, okay, we are making a puzzle here. What if, like, majority of the puzzles are exactly the same puzzle? Okay, we can't make an image out of this. Okay, we can't create a world that is actually interesting and beautiful and actually works. Right, so, like, it's actually it's so important for us to be authentic, because that's how we actually do fit into the world.
Yeah.
And that's how we start building something that is benefiting others, and also we are happy doing.
Yeah.
So thank you for touching upon authenticity.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. And so, with a large online following, how do you ensure your message resonates with people from different cultures and perspectives? You kind of touched upon it a little bit.
It's difficult. It's a little bit what we said before. Like, I tried to have an imagery and sounds that are as, contemporary but ancient, and they can speak to a lot of different people.
Right.
So, but it's not always easy. I mean, it's always, as I said, very unpredictable. So you always have to be open to the unknown when you start an artistic project, and it can go the way you were thinking, or it can go into a completely different direction. So
Right. And then, like, do you ever, like, like, also, like, we kind of have to be, like, careful with cultural appropriation and all of these things. Like, how do you navigate that? Like, does it ever happen to you that you're like, oh, I actually really want to do this, but I don't know if that's acceptable, or do you find a way to merge it and blend it? Because when everything is so global, right? Like, how do we, like, respect?
Yeah,
And
that's an issue, and it's been a big issue actually in the belly dance Middle Eastern community. And I think as long as you really study and you know what you're talking about, you're not just, oh, I'll just take this rhythm and put it in, and but I don't know how you're supposed to dance to it, and what it represents, and what kind of other instrument it should combine with. I mean, if you study and you know what you're doing, and you come from a place of respect and awe of that culture, I think it's actually very enriching, and it can touch people from other cultures that maybe had no idea that even existed.
Right.
It came to me, to Italy, like belly dance and Middle Eastern, just because a teacher started teaching it in a gym, and I just loved it.
Wow.
And so it came to my life because she was passionate about it. So I feel like we give and we transmit this knowledge also because of these contaminations.
Right. It's beautiful. And then also, like, I love that you mentioned that it has to come from a place of respect, right? Studying it, honoring it, respecting it. Yeah, that's very important. And I think when that's the base of it, right, then the conversation is completely different.
Yeah.
And one of our final questions, which is, I think, one of my favorites, is so advice for aspiring artists. What advice would you offer to artists looking to merge art and activism effectively?
Well, we touched a bit on it. Definitely be true. Be true to yourself. Be bold. Find something you really care about, and find the means, your favorite means. It can be music, it can be painting, it can be writing. But definitely artists are probably one of the most needed in society, the point we're at right now, because I feel there's so much to elaborate about who we are and our role as humans on the planet, that when it's literal, it can be a little bit it can get
Jarring.
defensive. So it's very important to elaborate it in doses, like a psychoanalysis kind of, like say the right thing at the right time when you're ready to receive it. Otherwise, it's too much. But I mean, artists are known to be the ones that have said things first all the time, right? The troubadours and even the buffoon at court was the one that was trying to sneak in some things before everybody
would you
else.
tell us more
right?
about this? Would you tell us more about this?
No, just, the troubadours or the singers in the past and
yes.
the poets were always saying things or before society was even ready to take them in, right? And I feel we are at this point, and we definitely have to involve others. And what's better than art that makes us so characteristically human?
Yes, thank you for that. Thank you. And if someone wants to connect with you, and like, what are the projects that are coming up? How can we support you? Would you share with us?
Sure, yeah. So, well, I'm Inanna for Earth in all the platforms and website. And then our nonprofit is Better Earth Media. We do events like usually every 3 or 4 months. We just had one last week where we released our Better Earth Productions, which is the other side, first film, short documentary. So to support, just come to our events. And if there's any upcoming concert, I will let you know. And for productions, we are at our first steps. This was our first short documentary, and we hope to do more. So come and talk to me if you have ideas.
Oh, exciting. Congratulations on the new film and
Thank
everything that you
you.
do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your heart. Thank you for the beauty that you bring into the world, and for the arts that is shining through you, and the spirit of Inanna. And
Yes.
embodying such a powerful,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of courage to be able to transmute that to the world. So thank
Yeah, sometimes it feels big responsibility.
So thank you so much for standing up and sharing your heart and inspiring others to do the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is really a wonderful space. And thank you for listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.